Plan your next trip with Ride Norfolk. Ride Norfolk operates an on-demand transit service across Norfolk County from Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Enjoy the podcast today.
Advantage Athletic Therapy, personalized rehabilitation programs with a whole body approach. Enjoy the podcast.
It's time to talk to Craig from Cousins Cooling and Heating on the Queensway in Simcoe. It's December 2025. Hey, bud. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Happy holidays to you and the family as well, too. And as always, thank you so very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
So what appliance did you buy your wife for Christmas this year with a warranty? Come on, tell me.
I gotta plead the fifth.
I'm gonna take the fifth. I know it's that time of year where guys like Craig and I, we're still trying to figure out what to get our wives for Christmas. I went early this year. Just wanted to let you know.
Nice.
I'll probably take a few hits for this one, but we bought a washer and dryer, and that's it for Christmas.
Oh, hey, with how expensive those are, I am not surprised. There's nothing cheap today, so
Which
I get it.
leads me to my question of the day. Before we purchased this, probably the cost of a new car in 1978, washer and dryer, I did a lot of research because I felt like I needed to know what I was buying out there. It's just crazy in this world anymore about what the products are. And I'm just talking washer and dryers. We're going to get into your stuff, HVAC and furnaces and air conditioning. But boy, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, I don't know what to think anymore. There was so much research to do, but you have to do it.
Pretty much. No, I couldn't agree more, specifically in anything out there, but, in my industry, especially because there's a lot of ways of, for lack of better terms, putting lipstick on the pig. And when you're doing research in any HVAC equipment, whether it's furnace, air conditioner, fireplace, heat pump, water heater, tankless, any of that, do your research from what is the manufacturer's warranty and then compare that to the warranties that's offered by the contractor. We have seen a very significant spike in the past couple of years with the heat pump rebates up, down, and companies that are, offering 10 years parts, 10 years labor warranty. And then as soon as the rebates went away a little over a year ago, now those customers sadly are having issues and they go back and they find out that was an in-house warranty. Well, that company doesn't exist anymore. You're up the creek, right? It's without a paddle. It's not a pretty spot to be in. And sadly, we're seeing this more and more. I also recommend to customers following with that, check out with the company to see, hey, are you a full service company? We are seeing more and more competitors that are offering installation only. So yes, it comes with a 10-year warranty. Well, that 10-year warranty is through the manufacturer, but you got to find somebody else, another contractor to honor that warranty. Well, guys like myself and other competitors, we can honor that parts warranty. But because the equipment wasn't purchased from us, we now have a warranty fee. So I know with a couple of major brands out there, they charge an $85 administration fee if the equipment wasn't bought from you. That's not us charging it, that's the manufacturer. So when I go back to whatever brand it is, because I didn't buy that and put it in from them, they're like, hey, you didn't support us in this, so here's a fee for us to do the warranty. And these types of things are starting to really creep up. Not to mention labor warranties are a real bad one within our industry and any trade industry, to be fair, where businesses include a matching labor warranty to meet the parts, but it's in-house. Well, if that company turns, if I hand it down to my son and now the company changes names or something like that, technically speaking, that warranty is now void. It's gone. It was in-house. It wasn't through. A lot of manufacturers now are even going to a third party. So that way, when Dave buys a piece of equipment from Craig at Cousins and gets a 10-year parts and labor, you will actually get a certificate from the manufacturer, from the third party, to validate that as, hey, you've got this, whether you deal with Cousins or anybody else. So those are definitely the types of things you want to do your research on with that, just like you guys with the appliance.
I think too, one of the things that we're always looking for the best deal, but if a deal looks too good to be true, it most likely is, folks. Like that, I think that's part of this, because I do see you're like, oh, this looks really good. Then you started, then you do your research and like, oh, wait a minute, right? I just don't think enough people do that.
Strongly agree. And like you just said, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Sadly, we do have a group of customers. We won't get in a specific area, but it's 6 houses all in a row that all went with a competitor. Well, sadly, that competitor has now closed its doors. All of them spent over $11,000. All of them got 10 years parts and labor. All of them have nothing but a 5-year part warranty. The 10-year parts is after the equipment's installed, it must be registered by the installing contractor. He never did that. The 10-year labor was in-house with inside his own company. Well, he disbanded and said, "Hey, I'm going to go back and work for somebody now. Now that the hot season's over, away you go." So here's 6 houses, 6 people, over $70,000 worth of HVAC that was sold with 10 years parts and labor on the quote that they signed. But now, because that company doesn't exist, they have 5-year parts and that's it. Absolutely not. So these types of things are happening, and especially with companies out there that will offer you a 10-year parts warranty, even the installation only companies. But what they may not tell you is that you have to register the equipment once it's installed for the additional 5 years. It's 5-year warranty and another five on top of that. The next thing to that I really, really suggest is, and I think we as customers are all very experienced with this, is there isn't a warranty out there today in any trade industry that doesn't start with the word limited. Ask your supplying contractor, whether it's us or anybody else out there, ask them, what does limited mean? You're telling me I got a 10-year parts and labor because you're trying to sell me the product and this is great. But well, I did my research and it says 5 years with another five once it's registered and it's a limited warranty. What does that mean? And any knowledgeable contractor should easily be able to decipher those details for you, as far as what that includes, what is done, and what isn't included is the big thing. Um, no manufacturer out there currently offers an in-house labor warranty. So if it includes a labor warranty, you will or you should receive a certificate because it'll be through the manufacturer, but through a third party, or through a contractor, but through a third party. If you don't get a certificate, that means it's in-house. That means if that company decides tomorrow, hey, I'm gone, or I'm going to sell to Dave, or I'm going to retire, go here, it's gone. And there's nothing you can do about it.
How important how important is it in your business? Like when you think about it, like and I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna date myself easily here. 30 years ago when the contractor showed up, the plumber, the pipe fitter, whatever, it was this old guy in a, you know, blue clothes who did all this and just said, "I'll put it in, don't argue with me." Right? And I thought about the evolution of what you guys are now. Like, you have to go into a home and basically explain everything before. Like, I wanna know the warranty, right? You're gonna sell me this that cost me $10,000. I need to know the warranty. I need to know it's guaranteed. Like, there's those things. And then when you brought up about that certificate, I didn't even know about that, right? Oh,
Mhm.
well, there's something, right? You need some kind of guarantee. It must be like your job has changed so much, Craig. Like I get it, and people need the answers because dollars are tight, right?
Absolutely. My job has changed immensely. And this is one of the reasons that I've gone back to personally doing the quotes again, because the vast majority of every quote I do, 75% of that quote is education.
Yeah,
25% is what we're offering you for the price, what equipment it is, and what's here. And that's where it's a big part. And guys like myself, and my other really good competitors out there, we totally changed our selling strategies to that more of a learning special to make sure that things are very crystal clear, that the homeowner is aware of the ins and outs, the changes. There's so many things happening right now that are fueled for so many different reasons, and not just tariff and this, that, and the other, and dollar, but there's other things that are happening within our industry and many others, and I'm sure like yours with the appliances that are also being pushed for greenhouse emissions, that are also being pushed for efficiency. So it's a combination of all those that come together that is having serious impacts on the changes of what the customer actually gets at the end of the day.
yeah.
And sadly, as we all know, the dollars are going up, not down. So I think it's my job and every other respectable contractor's job to be very crystal clear on what they can expect, what comes with it, and how it works. For example, currently in the HVAC industry, there is no manufacturer, not one, Doesn't matter if it's a furnace, air conditioner, fireplace, heat pump, water heater, whatever it is that covers diagnostics. So if you, Dave, bought a brand new piece of equipment and you have a 10-year parts and you have a 10-year labor warranty, that kicks in just like on your brand new car once the diagnosis is complete. Then the manufacturer kicks over. So even that brand new car that you've
Oh,
only had for 3 months, when you drive it back to Chevy and they throw it up on the hoist and say, oh, it's just a minor detail, your warranty will cover this. And then you walk out before they hand you the keys, they say, oh, that'll be 99.99 plus HST. Well, what's that? That's the diagnostic.
yeah, I
No
got you.
manufacturer covers that in the industry at all. And those are that's a simple education thing right there that people need to be aware of. When I hear as a consumer and a homeowner and a father, a husband, when I buy something and I hear 10-year parts and labor, the perception immediately gives me is for 10
Right.
years, piece of
You're
I don't
good.
have it's not going to cost me a thing.
Right.
Not a
Exactly.
thing. Not the case. 10 years, there is a diagnostic fee. That's one of the only things they don't cover. And within that 10-year period, let's say sadly, Dave's heating is no longer around, so Cousins gets called in. I now potentially could have an administration fee because I never bought that equipment from the supplier. Dave did. So now the supplier, the manufacturer says, we didn't deal with you. You never bought it from us. We don't have that generated revenue from the past. Here's an $85 admin fee. That's not fair to the customer, but that's not also fair to contractors like us because now we have to do that. And on average, a warranty claim takes anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and a half. That's office time that somebody has to spend there on your behalf. And again, that's not the customer's problem. That's not the customer's fault. But this is where those costs get associated. And people say, well, why was there a diagnostic fee?
Yeah.
Because manufacturers won't cover that. And somebody's got to cover the time of the licensed technician or, the tools, the materials, the insurance, the coverage here. And they've specifically excluded stuff like that, because,
See,
well,
it's
yeah,
easy to see how people get pissed off at you,
100%,
right?
yes.
Like, I
And
mean,
and and I feel for these people.
you're not trying to rip them
No,
off. You're not trying to give them bad news. You're just trying to give them the truth. And this is the
exactly.
reality, folks, of the times we live in.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
that's why, again, I go back to a lot of my sales process today is education.
Yeah.
Get into, let's learn about this equipment. And then a lot of times too, I'll kind of go off and say, hey, like if we're talking about a furnace, for example, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm educating you on your furnace. This also, a lot of these things are the same deal when it does come time for an air conditioner, whenever that may be, whether it's 10, 12, 15 years down the road, or whether it's next year that you need to be aware that that is as well too. And again, even if you don't go with, my company, but you decide to go with another company, these same rules apply.
Yeah.
And that's where, it's very important to me that anybody that buys something has a very clear understanding of what is covered, what isn't covered, um, and stuff like that in that regard.
And then just the general maintenance that they don't understand they have to do. Like, I
Correct.
bet you you probably went, you didn't change the filter, right?
Mhm.
Like, I mean,
Yep.
those little things that we've talked about on other podcasts, like it, and I think people are so, with the amount of money they pay, they think it's just one stop shopping, right? Where,
Hmm.
oh, here, Craig, you take care of everything, right? But like you
Well,
said, then the warranty's not, maybe they
yeah,
got,
it's not there.
maybe someone else did the work and they're asking you to cover that warranty. That's not really fair to you either.
No.
That's not your responsibility.
But at the same time, how would a customer know that as well too? And that's the responsibility of us. And that's where, I heard this years ago. In 31 years, we've added 31 new parts to furnaces, and it is unbelievably incredible how quiet and how efficient they are today. But that's 31 new parts to go wrong.
Yeah,
Back in the day, statistically, when you look at the majority of homeowners today, they were growing up with equipment that had less than 12 operating pieces within their HVAC system. So it was rock solid. So they're like, oh, this thing lasts 30, 40 years. Sure
yeah.
it did. Because there was so little to go wrong and it was so straightforward. And the words like efficiency were never talked about. That was
Well, it
that
was
was
fuel. The
right.
fuel was a little cheaper then too, I guess, for it.
Exactly, it was. But these are the things now that there's more that has been required from multiple different points to increase the efficiency. That that it just it can lead to more potential issues, which is why maintenance is so vital. It's just like our cars today;
Right.
they've improved so drastically, right? And if you don't have that maintenance, if you don't have that, and the homeowner should be educated on this, just like they should be educated
Yeah.
on warranties.
And it's like we started this whole show when I was telling you about a washer and dryer that blew my mind what we have now comparative to what we had 20 years ago, right? It's just things keep changing and getting more efficient, but they also, like you said, that was a great analogy. 31 more parts, 31 years. Crazy
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah.
crazy to hear, but yeah, it makes sense. I want to give you an opportunity to say happy holidays to everybody because, man, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the last show for 25.
This is crazy. I can't believe we're heading into 2026. Again, as always, it's a pleasure and thank you for always having me. Happy holidays, everybody out there. Be safe. Enjoy your time with your families and remember what's most important, and that's your happiness and everybody else that's close to you. All right. Stay safe, folks.